Welcome to Candy Critics making crazy Japanese candy treats.
So we're going to start off.
Yeah.
We're just going to get going because this is a long one. We're going to start. The look in Allison's eyes was terrifying.
This will be very long.
So we're going to start off with the Poppin' Cookin' Sushi Kits.
Yes. This was really cool.
Yeah, this one was fun.
Yeah. So there it is.
There we have the box. And
there we are, opening the box. And we really didn't know
clean
what
counter. We made sure everything was clean.
Well, of course.
And had water prepared.
Yeah. But we really didn't know what to expect so much. I mean, I read a little bit of Japanese, but not very much. So we were kind of running blind here and just leapt into it and see how it goes. And so already we're having problems opening it.
Well, the thing is, the package is actually part of it.
Yeah.
That's something we didn't expect.
That's right. So like I said, we didn't know what to expect. So the plastic part of, or the wrapping is actually a preparation tray, I think, for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A presentation tray even as well.
Yeah.
So,
I think so.
So I spent, you can tell right now, I'm spending a lot of time just preparing this plastic sheet while Allison's inspecting the elements.
Yeah. Trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And I'm getting more and more curious, and I'm getting a little bit worried about Chris's expectations of my Japanese reading skills.
Well, the one advantage, and you can see this here, is that the packages are all different colors, and they're sort of represented that way in the instructions.
Yeah, that helped a little.
So it's sort of like a little bit of an idea of what everything is. A lot of packages, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a little terrifying. A little daunting, a little irritating, but a little exciting at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, what's going to happen? Is this going to work out? How is it going to go?
Yeah, I was still...
What the heck is that little brown square?
I actually knew what that was right off the bat, but, well, look at that. I know there was a great amount of excitement over the little plunger thingy or whatever.
Oh, yeah, I was looking forward to that plunger.
So...
I had my suspicions of what it was for, but I don't want to ruin the surprise because it was really cool.
Yeah, well, it actually gives it away right on the box front.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Or on the side.
So I remember the first thing we did for this one was the rice. So we had to figure out which container it went for, and that was...
And we had to figure out the instructions on what to do with the water.
Like how much?
Yeah, how much and how to measure it, and you were doing a lot of pointing.
There's a lot of sort of comparing because there's sort of visualizations on the box, so it's sort of like, well, is that is that, what exactly, how does that work, and I mean, to the most part, there's just a lot of
And look, I've bravely opened the package.
And you can tell Allison sort of slowly reading the Japanese.
I'm a remedial reader.
She wanted to pour the water in, I remember, and I was like, no, just use the thing, and you're like, this is gonna take forever.
Yeah.
But
we got a little braver later.
Well, we got, I mean, no spoilers, but we got braver enough in one that we kind of screwed it up a little.
Oh, you shouldn't have said that.
There's spoilers.
You're spoiled.
You know what I'm saying? That it didn't go perfectly, and that's good.
Yeah, we're doing. By the way, if you're watching this, we did 3 of these things.
Yes.
So you get to sort of watch the process of us trying 3.
And this isn't as much instructions as much as we're hoping that this is sort of a, give it a try yourself. A little bit of bravery. Like, we're not going to give you step-by-step instructions. There are lots of YouTube shows that'll actually do that, which is what we avoided.
Yeah, and the measurements and the times are all written in Arabic numbers, like
English.
So what we use in English. So there's that was the rice.
That was
right?
the rice first, yeah.
For the sushi.
So this is sort of our first experience in sort of figuring out how this works. And I mean, I got to say, I'm glad the rice was the first thing because it worked out well and it was fairly easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that built our confidence up a little bit.
I'm also glad we did this kit first because this was not the hardest kit we had.
No, it also wasn't the easiest.
No.
Ironically.
You'll see why ironically later.
But yeah, so I mean, you look at that; it looks like sort of rice actually forming.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it was kind of fun, and
I think what the instructions basically amounted to was fill up the little oval to the top with water, and then add the powder, and then mix it until you get like this consistency.
Until it seems right.
Yeah, Like mix it until like all the water and the powder are as one.
I'll tell you, I remember one problem I had with this is that the little oval, sometimes the powder would get stuck in the corners.
Yeah.
And so I ended up, it was very difficult to actually do this. The measuring, the way that they do, a lot of these kits, and we sort of discovered this, is there's like little areas where you fill up to and little reservoirs you fill up to. And that actually sometimes is difficult because it makes it hard to actually stir it and everything.
And it's kind of hard to see because the lighting in our kitchen isn't great.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it was hard to tell what we were doing.
Yeah.
And the other thing that really surprised me about all three of these things, well, it became less and less a surprise as we went on, was how tiny the end results were going to be.
Yeah.
Like everything was tiny.
Well, the middle one didn't matter too much because it wasn't a representation of real food.
No.
So that.
But we're not on the middle one. We're on the first one. Look, more water.
Yeah. And me carefully not wanting to pour because I didn't want to put too much water.
The teeny weeny baster.
Yeah. Little dropper thing.
What do you call it? Yeah, I guess it's a dropper.
An eyedropper.
And look, there's me still trying to.
Yeah, you'll notice there's many times Allison reference back to the instructions. Part of the reason why, and I mean, some of you, if you're in Japan, you don't really understand this because these are like $2 or $3 in Japan. But if you get these outside of Japan, they can be like $20 a piece. And so there was sort of this fear that if we don't do it right, it's sort of this monetary fear of doing it. So I was, wanted to be as precise as possible, and I believe this is a part where we argued about having too much water and trying to see it up to the line and everything like that. So very careful about how much water. Well, I figured how much water was a very important part of it.
We were scientists.
Yeah,
we were being candy scientists.
We were trying to do it as best as we possibly could.
Even now, I mean, I know we did this like a week ago.
Yeah.
I'm looking at all those packages and going, what the heck what did we do with all those? Like, what happened?
Yeah, every single one.
That's the
egg.
The egg, the omelet.
The omelet.
Oh, and what you can't see and what you may not be able to see with the end result is that this is that is enough right now to make 2 pieces of sushi. And the mold actually had a pattern on the bottom of it so that it looked, when you took it out, it actually kind of looked like a rolled omelet.
Yeah. Oh, it was very detailed.
It was very,
and the
very
salmon
detailed.
even had the little creases of salmon.
It was tuna.
Tuna.
Yeah, that's sort of like the grains of like fat and tissue that you see in a tuna.
It wasn't
sushi.
just a square. It was detailed.
Yeah.
That actually made it harder to stir. I remember because the little.
Especially the egg one.
Yeah, it was really
because
difficult.
because it was swirly.
And that's why you noticed there was some paper towel going on there. That was me spilling into the other containers. And I was worried about that too.
Did I yell at you about that? Don't spill it!
Well, I think there was, I had a concern about it because I was worried that if we put other chemicals, maybe, because it's all chemical reactions that I don't understand. So I was worried that if there's chemical in there, maybe something else wouldn't work.
Like for all we know, like the egg and the tuna were exactly the same thing, just with different food coloring.
And flavors.
And, I didn't know it had flavors. I didn't eat them. But... so we didn't really know like how important it was to keep everything completely pristinely separate, like scientists.
Yeah, well, we figure if we're measuring properly, we might as well keep them separate too.
If this taught me anything, it would be that, we're probably not coordinated enough to be, like nanoscientists.
No. We're too big and clumsy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and the pristine measuring of water to get it just right.
Yeah, I liked it when we got braver later.
Yeah.
It felt like I felt more confident as we went along and started pouring. I think we started pouring directly into the little dishes.
I think for the third one we did. I don't think we.
And to varying degrees of success, but it's still, when we got it right, it felt really good.
I think there's actually a point. I'll mention it during the video. A point in which you got frustrated with doing the thing and just picked it up, and I probably freaked out, but you did it anyway. I think there's a moment. If I see it, I'll point it out.
That's kind of our relationship. Allison charges ahead, and Chris is like, "No, we have to be careful."
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how we ended
That's
up
how-
in
that's
a
why
tent in Africa with a jackal howling behind it. And
That's why I do detailed artwork, and she looks at it and goes, "That's pretty."
I still remember the time we were traveling somewhere and he was yelling at me for some sort of danger I'd gotten us in, and I just said, hey, if we live, it'll make a great story.
We're doing the black thing now, and
the
something
black.
I knew right off the bat, and I might have seen this on another website talking about these, so I sort of knew what was going on. But there's this little sort of black thing that looks like a piece of licorice or gum or something, and you have to stretch it out to fit this square perfectly. And the thing I didn't realize, and maybe I did it wrong. This is actually the one thing I think we might have got wrong, because we eventually actually did it again and did it extra thin because we thought there was two of something, because there was two of the little roll things. But I'm not sure if there was supposed to be or if there was actually an additional thing we didn't make, because on the front of the box was sort of this desserty looking thing.
Oh, really?
That I didn't know was optional, or whether or not how exactly it worked. But the idea is you match the size of the square and wrap it around one of the sushis. So.
Yeah, so like you see sort of on the side of the box there, you see the wrapped, it's like the maki, the roll. But yeah.
Yeah,
it's funny. Do you know what really astounded me about this though? I mean, you see everything's there sort of like setting and cooking and
cooking. That's like, such a
And there's Chris freaking out because Allison's now pouring.
Yeah, here's the moment. This is actually an interesting moment too, because I remember I actually edited this, so there's a bit of audio when I edited it. But there's a third container there, and we couldn't figure out what the water went in there for.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. We couldn't.
I don't know if we ever did.
No, we didn't.
So there's two on the left side, or it'll be on your right. And then there's a middle one. See, you sit there. That's not right. Pull some water out.
You shouldn't have poured it directly in. And it's like, yeah, but I can take a little dropper and take it out.
I would say of all the things we made, though, this is the coolest chemical reaction.
Yes.
This
Definitely.
One was awesome.
So we just put the powder in the water, and that's
and
like,
the orange
now
one.
it's just a liquid.
An orange liquid, yeah.
Yeah. But what I was saying while we're doing this is that I was really impressed at how self-contained these boxes were. Like, aside from the scissors we used to make the mat, everything we needed was in there. Well, in the water.
The water, yeah.
Like, they're not going to sell a bag of water with it.
I could see it. Japanese company.
Maybe. So you can do it while you're camping.
Yeah, that was really the cool thing about it. Is just the complete self-containedness of it.
Yeah, and all of them were like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aside from water and like scissors to cut the mats, it was everything you needed was in each of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, now we're pouring that chemical into the other water thing.
This was also, I'll give a bit of spoilers, because I did reviews of all of these. This was also the best part tasting wise of all the things we did.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, this was, to me, was like, these are amazing.
All of them?
All of them.
Okay.
Of all of them, this was the part
So
I was
it's not like the part that we're doing right now.
No, of every single one of these DIY kits, this portion.
This kit was the best kit.
This was
the tastiest kit, or this portion of this kit?
This portion of this kit was the best part of it.
Of the whole thing.
Of everything.
Yeah.
Like, I loved these.
It was
things.
To me, like, I'm allergic to sugar, so I can't eat any of this stuff. You know, too much information, I guess. But this was, to me, probably the most fun I had, because it was just super cool. Now look at this. Like, I'm drawing it into a little eyedropper, and now watch what happens.
You might not be able to see it too well, but.
Oh, I hope you can see it. Okay. Oh, can't see it at all. Oh no. Maybe we'll see it some. Oh,
there's one. Yeah, you can see them kind of.
That perfect little balls.
They make these perfect. You'll see them when she scoops them out, particularly. It makes these amazingly perfect little balls.
They actually look exactly like salmon roe.
They kind of feel like it though too, but they have a nice fruity flavor.
I look at them, and even like they're piling up on top of each other, and they're still making the perfectly round.
Yeah, it didn't matter at all. If you're making this kit, don't worry about that. You don't have to scoop them out as you're working it. You can do them all.
Yeah.
And we had extras. I had the extras too. They were fantastic.
They look so. What was the texture like?
It was very similar to like salmon roe.
Really?
Yeah, it kind of pops in your mouth a little bit.
Huh? I've never had salmon. I'm allergic to fish too.
Well, there was a time when you could.
Yeah, I never ate salmon roe.
But
there was. I probably could have, but
it was so much fun. Allison let me try it.
Yeah, I don't usually let him try stuff unless it's really fun.
Although through most of this kit, it's been you doing it first, and then me sort of finishing it up.
Yeah, that's true. You did a lot of this.
The rice, you did the original stirring, and then I kind of came in. And I think I did the egg, and then you did the salmon.
That's because Chris is detailed, and I'm more broad brush. I can accept that about it.
So if you actually look to the side of the package, I'm pointing to it like an idiot. You'll see this kind of desserty thing there that we didn't make.
I don't see the desserty thing. The orange thing with what looks like a little chicken coming out of an egg or something.
Yeah, we didn't do that.
Are you sure that was part of it?
It was sort of a bonus on the kit. Yeah, it's on the front of the box.
Really?
Yeah, but you know what? I didn't really. It didn't look sushi-ish.
I didn't feel like there were parts available to make it.
If we didn't do the second...
Maybe we were missing something. Maybe that's what the other water thing
But we didn't have any powder packs left.
That's what I was saying, but maybe they were missing a powder pack.
No. You used leftover bits of the red and the yellow.
What leftover bits? They were so tiny as it was.
Exactly.
I don't know. I think that might be just some sort of weird design element.
No.
I reject your theory.
I saw it on the box.
I don't care.
Okay, well, either way, we're happy with what we did.
It wasn't in the instructions anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Trust me. The 5% of these instructions I understood, there was nothing in there.
So this is where we're making the ball and we make them the wrong size.
Yeah, because we didn't realize, or I didn't realize, that you might have realized that there's 6. Yeah.
No, I obviously didn't realize either because I was sitting here making 3. But what actually gave it away to me a little bit was the plates, because there's 6 little plates.
Yeah, and then like when I pulled the egg out, I looked at it and it's like there was a line down the middle, and I'm like, is this supposed to be 2?
Yeah.
And it turns out, yes.
Yeah.
There were 2.
And I mean, you can tell already they look fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, they really looked like very sushi-ish.
Yeah. I mean, sushi kind of has a candy, kind of shiny look to it, so it's sort of an advantage.
I guess that's true.
So the one thing I should mention, the egg and the tuna, it sets for a while, so that's why we didn't sort of pull it out immediately.
And see how I've adjusted my methods? I'm like, no, I'm gonna just take them out. One at a time. Now that I know there's 2 of them in there.
Made the little rice things and.
Maybe it said somewhere on the box that there's 2, but I missed it.
Yeah, it might. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is part of not being able to read it, and part of the reason. I mean, we didn't go to YouTube. That was one of the things we specifically didn't go to YouTube to try and figure this out.
Just to
challenge
give Allison
ourselves.
a challenge.
Well, both of us.
Trying to read stuff.
So.
Yeah. No, it was really fun. Like the fact that we managed to do this. With the little, I speak Japanese pretty well.
But your reading isn't great.
But my reading is
so this is where I realized that I wanted to make 2 of those.
Oh, yeah, so
I sort of stretched it out.
That's right. That tuna looks amazing. Oh, I wish that the camera had caught the fine detail on the tops of them.
Oh, we get a little closer, I think, later on. So,
do we?
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope it sort of... This was really fun, too, like making this, the maki. It was like... And look at you actually rolled it. Oh, look at you.
It looks fantastic.
Then, look at there's the little bow balls going on.
Yeah, there's lots of extra, so if you do make this and you like the eggs, you get to definitely make them.
Look how real they look.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That was fun. And even like right next to them, I would have considered those to be, just super tiny salmon eggs.
Yeah.
But everything is just so tiny.
It's cute.
It's really cute.
This one was a lot of fun to make.
They look giant on the little pictures.
This one was really cool because it was rewarding because it was complicated enough, but it wasn't so complicated. Like I would say, if you're an adult and you're doing your first one, this is a great first one to do.
I would have started with the second one we did because that was technically the simplest one.
It was, but I think this one was a little more rewarding.
Yeah, it was quite rewarding.
Like this is a nice middle ground one, So.
And then there's the
finished product. I think we're going to go a little bit closer.
You took some pictures.
I took some pictures.
Then we took pictures of you eating them.
But I think I come in and I'm gonna.
What am I putting more water in?
Oh, soy sauce.
That's right.
I did the soy sauce too.
I 100% forgot about the soy sauce. And see there, like I used the little extra tray to rinse out the dropper.
That's smart.
Yeah, it was for nothing else.
Yeah, we couldn't figure that. I'm thinking maybe the idea is you put the water in there and then you distribute it amongst the other things.
Yeah, but there wouldn't be enough water in there to.
I don't know.
Now we're mixing stuff up again.
Yep, soy sauce.
Dude, I forgot about the soy sauce.
Soy sauce was kind of useless.
A little disappointed in the lack of wasabi.
Yeah, a little green ball. You'd think it'd be easy enough. Like even if you just did a little bit of the rice and colored it green.
Yeah, like sushi, I don't know if people listening to this have tried sushi before. It's super popular now, so probably. But if you see sushi like that, like with the tuna and the egg on top of the rice and any other fish, usually there is a layer of wasabi between the rice and the fish.
A little close-up of you adding
Yeah, I had to put quite a bit on it for it to even sort of show up. Oh, you can sort of see the texture.
Yeah.
And look at those balls. Look at the eggs. Isn't that awesome?
It's amazing.
How did the sauce taste?
It didn't really add anything. I
No?
don't think I could have.
But it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was, that's the whole thing.
It kind of disappeared. But yeah, you can really see that back egg, the kind of...
Yeah, the texture it is.
Yeah, you can't really see the tuna so well, but you can definitely see the roe.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So I ate one right off the bat because it was so tasty. I think I ate one of the egg ones. There we go. I think this is the end of we're at the end of this video. So.
Okay.
So now we are on to the Dino Island pudding.
Yeah.
So this is a 2-part thing.
This went really well.
You'll see that this is a 2-part one. So.
You know what this does is it shows the flexibility of these packages.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So we'll go on.
Did we need to? I think we needed milk for this.
We didn't need milk. We'll get into that.
So this isn't really a self-contained.
Oh, but you can't really package milk. So.
No, you can't. It's the same thing as packaging
water. There's a package.
Water.
And the giveaway that we did around Christmas time.
Yeah. The Christmas tree looks a lot bigger than it does in reality from that angle.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's pretty
That's because you think it's the size of a dinosaur.
That's right. It's like the dinosaur.
Yeah,
the dinosaur looks tiny next to the Christmas tree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you can also see me walking around. There was a lot of walking around in this kitchen for things. I think there was a lot of preparation for this particular one. So
yeah.
You know, as you were saying though, this one requires milk. I guess it would have been interesting if it was a milk powder, but we have our milk. Yeah. We have scissors, and we had water anyway, but we weren't sure. And then we knew that there was some cooking. There's microwave, there's actual cooking in this one too.
Yeah. So yeah, we needed a mug, and fortunately we had a clear mug.
Yeah, so you can kind of see what's going on here.
Yeah. So it was kind of cool, and I don't remember. I know that the next one we had to cut up the tray a lot, but I don't know if we had to cut up the tray so much on this.
I don't think there is a tray in this one. We just used a plate.
The tray. No, it's the mold.
Oh, the mold. No, there's no cutting of the mold on it.
Oh, so we just...
But
there was something to measure.
The milk, yeah, there's a little milk thing on the thing. That's how you measure your milk.
Yeah.
So I think that comes off.
And this is where...
And this is me opening up the dinosaurs.
And there's toothpicks there.
Yeah, with the toothpicks, we discovered there was toothpicks needed to... later on to release them from the mold. So it just said it needed toothpicks. There's the dinosaurs fighting.
Chris is playing with the dinosaurs.
Yeah, I did that quite quickly.
Yeah, I think he made some funny noise there. Yeah, something like that.
So we're just sort of getting stuff organized here.
Trying to so there's the milk measuring cup.
So yeah. Oh no. So you didn't take it off. It's the next one you actually pull it off. So the deal is you measure it in there, and then you pour it in the cup, and then you stir in the powder.
That's right.
So this is actually only has like 2 packages, 2 little envelopes.
Yeah.
This is I'll give you a bit of a warning. This is also where things go bad.
Yeah.
So So there's 2 mistakes that happen here. One involves measurements, and one involves over microwaving.
No, because if the measurements had been properly
playing with the dinosaur.
done.
So we put it in the microwave.
We put it in the microwave with the improper amount of milk. I did not read the directions carefully enough.
Oh, it was very small writing on that.
It was very small and very
So this is what happened.
So that happened.
That was not great. We figured at this point, as you say, this is
where we find out how resilient the kids are.
Yeah.
So I think that it wouldn't have done that big over cooking thing had we put the right amount of milk in the first place.
Possibly. So we were going to give up, but we decided let's just see if we can just correct it.
We're going to see this through.
Yeah, let's if it's going to fail, let's let it fail at the end.
Yeah.
You know, let's
I mean, this looks like
we still haven't figured out our problem yet either though.
At this point?
No, at this point we still have not figured out our problem because I have to put it in the mold. I would try to put it in the mold, and I'm like, this is just not enough product, like not even close. Like,
this is what you get for being the editor, because I haven't seen this video
yet.
Yeah.
So the idea is you're supposed to stir it afterwards, and I just sort of like, okay, I'll get this gloss. And it turned into like
you have to scrape it off the outside too.
Yeah. It's just, this went very wrong.
Very, very bad.
So, I mean, yeah, it went poorly, but you know, the idea is you're supposed to stir it for a long time, and you know, I think you're now going through this, figuring out how it went wrong and how this is actually supposed to work. Because at this point, it looks like, I mean, you can visually, you can't see it because the mug's all dirty, but I could see inside the mug that this was not enough to fill both of these molds up at all. And so I thought, okay, well, maybe it overboiled. And
I wonder what we're saying to each other right now.
I figured it had overboiled at that point, so I thought what I'm going to do instead is just use the smaller one and maybe make one island work.
Right.
I thought it maybe overboiled and like evaporated too much, but as you can see, it does not fit. This is Allison's desperately trying to figure out like where we went wrong.
What happened?
And I think this might be the moment when it was like, wait a sec.
I need my monocle.
Yeah, this is where we discovered we did not put enough milk in. We have to start this again. So
this is at the point where I was ready to go to the store and pick up some like Jell-O pudding.
I actually had some pudding in the cupboard. We contemplated the idea of like, let's just make some pudding and put it in, but
we should have kept the mold. We could make it.
We tried. We were going to, but I had to kind of. You'll see when I pulled them out, they weren't easy to get out.
So here we are. We're putting.
It's supposed to be three.
It was supposed to be three
jiggers.
And we put in one.
Yeah. So and we got a whisk because there was a big lump. Basically, so I wanted to like distribute the lump as best as I possibly could. And so the fork was not cutting it.
The dinosaur's trying to help.
So yeah, so now we microwave it again.
Not for as long because already.
And I decided to clean out the mold because I figured that the goop was not.
Yeah, and there it is. It's sort of just milk. It looks like.
It looks like it's gonna fail again.
Yeah.
I honestly was.
I thought for sure like we were just gonna pour liquid into the mold and liquid was going to come out.
Yeah.
I think we're sort of like giving away the end of this, but
yeah, but the one thing.
But look how disastrous it looks.
Yeah, this is did not go well. And the one thing should be mentioned is that there's there's about a 3-hour setting period here. It'll come up, but so like this doesn't just sort of instantly turn into it like the other ones did. Because if you watch the other ones, you notice how like there was no sort of like extended period of time that sit in a refrigerator or anything. That just those things just like within 20 minutes they were sort of hard.
But technically this should be the easiest one.
Technically it should.
You put in 3 things of milk into a cup, you microwave it for however many seconds, throw it in the mold,
put it in the
fridge, and then the rest of it is like...
The good news is even though we had all these problems, the mold's actually filled up.
Yeah.
So that was sort of a good thing.
Impressive.
In fact, well...
You spilled.
Yeah, I believe. Yes, you do. I believe you scolded me at one point, and.
Okay, I didn't remember that.
So.
See, this is where you're lucky. Maybe you do bad things, but you just don't remember.
About 3 hours later.
3 hours later. Yes, it was dark out too by the time.
So it was actually really difficult. It took several attempts to get it out, but I sort of just went to the point where it got out. As you can see with the second island. There was a lot of sort of work, and the little toothpicks. You try and use the little toothpicks to kind of get it out. And
the second island actually came out better than the first. The first one's a little gloppy, the big one. But
it's a little gloppy.
Yeah, but I don't know.
And now the hard part is sticking the dinosaurs. Allison sticking in the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Why'd you put the T-Rex in the little island?
Because the Brontosaurus was bigger.
Okay. The Brontosaurus. Oh, there's the lava.
And then the lava.
The other package.
I don't remember making the lava.
You don't make it. It just comes right out of the package.
Oh, does it come straight out of the package?
Yeah, it's a liquid.
Oh, this was awesome.
So.
Is it like caramel or something?
It's strawberry sauce.
Oh. Okay, well that makes sense.
It's sort of a chocolatey pudding with a strawberry sauce.
Yeah, so basically that's just chocolate pudding. I don't know what color it would have come out had we done it right, but this was pretty close to what was on the package.
Yeah, I think we did pretty well.
Yeah.
Surprisingly well. So this one fairly more resilient than you would expect.
Yeah.
So.
Very resilient. We fatally.
A great beginner one.
Screwed up.
And if you have kids, a kid can do this.
This is the great beginner one. Super easy. It's the one we screwed up the worst.
Yeah, but obviously it had some resilience to it, so it's it managed to
exactly.
survive.
And it still tasted pretty good,
tasted
right?
fine. Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. Yeah. Didn't do too bad. I mean, I didn't like it as much as I liked the eggs on the other one, but
I have no idea how we got part of the island onto the Brontosaurus.
I think it was just on your fingers because while we were pulling them out.
Oh, yeah.
And you stuck them on. So here I'm enjoying a bite of the lava there.
I wish I could have tried.
Nice and gelatinous. So next, this was the hardest kit.
This was super hard, but oh my god, so fun.
It was pretty fun, yeah.
Yeah,
I liked it. So let's get on to the.
And it says Fun Festival.
Okay.
Shop.
I figure it's like carny food.
Yeah, it's basically.
A lot of stuff to do.
This is like if you go to a Japanese festival, like carnival-y festival thing, you will find this food.
Another package of great cutting out to do. I think I had to cut this one out even more. So
I think we had to.
Lots of packages done, and there was like lots of different things and different textures.
So many packages.
This one was much more complicated.
This was so much fun. I'm glad we did this one last.
Yes, this is definitely, don't do this.
This is not for beginners.
Yeah, make sure you do one other one first.
I wasn't quite sure. You, I think, knew what that was going to be for.
Yeah.
I was kind of.
Well, you know,
this was also the first time I looked at these packages, so I was like, what could this possibly be?
Yeah, and I kind of picked them out, so I sort of had some ideas of what we were getting into.
Yeah. So yeah, there we are. I have to cut open measuring cup, and then like all the different things
parts,
you had to do them separately, so I had to cut the tray up completely.
Yeah, and I had to make, this is actually, I'm cutting out a thing for the French fries. So this one, again, much more complicated.
Yeah, and again, mostly self-contained, but the French fry holder did need tape.
Yeah, and a little
Yep, and it appears.
Speak of the devil.
And there we are.
So
me now not using the dripper to pour the water.
I felt a little better about this because you were using a measuring cup, so if you spilled out of the measuring cup, it wasn't a big deal.
Right. I think that happened a couple of times.
Yeah, I don't think this went perfectly.
No.
So while she's starting the first measuring thing, I'm just trying to get the French fry holder together.
And I'm very carefully reading the directions on how many.
I'm kind of glad we messed up that middle one.
Yeah, if we had messed up on this one, that would have been.
Yeah, this one is a little bit of point of no return.
Look at your cute little friend. Like I said before, all of these things, except like the volcano one was kind of like the size you would expect it, but these again were so tiny, like the sushi, just like the tiniest little things, and they're adorable and like surprisingly tiny.
So I can't remember which one we made first. I'm trying to think.
I think it was the French. Well, no, it was the candy apples.
Candy.
So again, we needed toothpicks because the toothpicks are the candy apple sticks.
The one thing I'll say about this one too, as far as my reviews, which I'll be posting the reviews the same week that I'm posting this video. This one tasted the worst.
Really, the candy apples?
This kit.
The whole thing?
This kit did the worst. It was kind of fun to do, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but as far as like good to eat, the sushi one was better, tasted better than this one. In general, I would say, like, if anybody's going to get one kit, get the sushi kit. This one was fun to do afterwards. Like, if you want to do more, this is a great next step.
Yeah.
If you want to do something.
But not as yummy.
Not as yummy, a little bit more complicated, and not as gratifying.
Yeah.
I didn't find it looked as good.
Oh, I thought it looked great. I thought it was so much fun.
So this is Allison yelling at me to fill up the candy apples all the way because I was worried about them overflowing again.
But they were supposed to overflow a little bit because that's what happens when you dip a candy apple. You get that sort of little base.
Yeah.
So you wanted to make that little sort of base at the bottom that goes past.
So lots of instruction. There's lots of just.
This one was so hard.
Yeah, it was really, really complicated.
Yeah, it was fun. And the end result, I thought it was, well, I guess because I've been to so many Japanese festivals that, it was like lots of natsukashii about it. Yeah.
Like fond memories, nostalgic.
A lot of nostalgia.
Ah, here it is.
Yeah, see,
that's why you shouldn't pour straight in.
I didn't.
That's why you shouldn't.
Yeah. If we live, it'll make a great story.
Yeah, candy apple, there was actually a bit left over, too.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree that there should have been. I think you should have just gone.
I think they look good when they're done.
They looked fine, but they didn't have that little.
I was worried about them spilling over to the banana.
Yeah.
So is it the banana? No, it's the French fries now.
Yeah, we did the French fries next. The French fries were the tray. When you look at the tray, you're like, how is this going to, I see how it's going to be French fries, but how the heck are you going to pull them out and make them the French fries?
But if you look, there's actually a little piece of plastic there with a cutting board.
Yeah.
Part of the package is your cutting board for making the French fries. So, and
I think that's the only thing you're supposed to use the cutting board for.
Maybe
the corn cob.
Yeah, no, you measure the corn cob on the cutting board one too. If you look to the side of it there, there's a little. It's another indicator, sort of like the black thing.
Yeah.
Sort of how big you should do your corn, which is actually kind of nice. They have all these little measurements on there, which is really nice because
black thing being the nori for the sushi.
Yeah, the nori for the sushi. So in this case, it's sort of like
there you go. You're pushing the French fries down into the French fry mold.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
Kind of squishy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It felt similar to the rice.
Did it feel like? Oh, okay. So it didn't feel like maybe plasticine or silly putty.
No, sort of closer to the
Play-Doh
rice.
Or something. Okay. So sort of gritty. Okay.
Sort of Play-Doh-y.
I guess.
More Play-Doh than plasticine.
Probably more watery than Play-Doh. right?
Not that watery. It's pretty. You'd be surprised how dry they are. Like my finger isn't wet.
Okay. Oh, okay. So
there's a lot.
It was fascinating. It was fascinating to kind of watch.
You know what? Fascinating is a great way to describe all of these.
Yeah.
They're just really fascinating. It's a lot of fun to do.
I'm not quite sure why we have the timer there. I think. Oh, it's for that candy apples.
The candy apples have to be in for a certain amount.
I think it was 2 minutes or something.
It was like 10 minutes, I think. I think it was a long time.
I don't know. We had to let them set for a specific amount.
Which is
of
why
time.
we went to these ones, because the bananas are in the same container and you can't flip them out.
Yeah.
So the French fry.
So that's where the French.
This
look at that French fry thing. It just looks like a little tiny
little waffle iron
ketchup
thing.
holder or something, with just a little bit of texture in the bottom. So you actually have to make the French fries by cutting them.
This is why I'm glad I did this part. I'm very fastidious about that.
I could have done it.
You can barely sit here patiently watching me do it, let alone actually do it yourself.
Do you know what would have been the worst is trying to watch me try to get them into the French fry cone.
I did that without you looking, I think.
Yeah, I couldn't. I don't know. Oh my god. I'd be just hold them in there and just dump them all in.
That way they look like real French fries.
That's right.
Just this ball of stuff in the bottom of the French fry thing because of that.
Yeah, it
was very time consuming. The nice thing is this also gave you some time to work on the box. And
yeah, I'm trying to read what was coming up next.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh yeah, this is painful to watch.
I mean, this is it. You really have to be patient.
The last French fry's too big.
That's why this one I don't think would be great for kids. I think, if you had a kid, it would just be they'd be so bored with doing this. Just eat it.
Okay. Now the last French fry's too small.
Yeah, it was a little weird. The two end ones were a little bit bigger than.
Because you had the little guidelines in it, right?
Yeah.
In the mold.
But they were a little different, so.
Oh, look at that! Oh, just shove them in.
So you're already I'm done with this. So you got the corn cob thing out.
That's right.
So you're kneading the corn cob thing. So I decided to let them dry a little bit, so they wouldn't, the edges would dry, so they wouldn't stick together in the French fry holder. So I figured while we were doing the corn thing, I would let them dry.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
The corn thing was super cool. Look at you. You're doing such a good job with the corn.
Rolling it up just the right size.
Yeah. There's the little yellow corn indicator.
I like sculpting, so.
Yeah.
And then there's a little thing that tells you where to cut it.
Oh, yeah. Well, it should be the middle, right?
Yeah, but it actually has an indicator on that measuring tool.
Oh my God, they think of everything.
Where to cut it. They do, which is the great thing. They think of everything. I can't imagine the test kitchens for these things, just the amount of detail,
Although why they would have 1 cup of milk for there's one thing that you have to do, but you have to do it 3 times. Why wouldn't they just make it the right size?
For that one, yeah. The one thing I'll say about that one is it isn't made by Crazy, who does the other two.
Yeah, it's a different company.
So it's a different company, so, it's maybe a lesser brand. I also think it was a lot cheaper.
Yeah,
so.
I think it might have been.
But yeah, here we are. So I got the corn things sort of measured out.
This part was so cool. Where are we on the timer? I can't see it very well.
Yeah. So now I decided while Allison was doing that, I would do the French fries.
What am I doing?
So another package that you're making. I'm not sure what you're making at this point. It might be the bananas.
Oh, is it time for the bananas already?
I don't remember.
Because the apples are still in there.
And we haven't done the corn yet either.
Unless they stained. And I see the package of corn.
And there's a little thing of the package of. So.
This corn, I don't want to ruin the surprise because the corn thing. Look at you, so detailed, putting the French fries in the cone. Oh, the end result was amazing. It looked so good. It looked so real. I was really impressed. Okay, I'm putting something in my hand.
This is weird. I don't.
What am I doing? Something brown?
What in the world?
Corn?
Yes, it is. It is the corn.
What is the corn?
The one in the other package is the sprinkles for the bananas.
Ah! There we go.
That's it.
Okay, this was really hard because you had to put half of the corn kernels. So there's these little bitty round candies that make corn,
that go everywhere. They're like styrofoam. They're the styrofoam balls of
and
DIY candy.
You cannot see this, but the container has like a little tiny
divot,
rounded depression to put each little corn nubbin in.
Yeah, so I was trying to shake them to fall into it.
Oh, and you just couldn't be done.
Yeah.
It was terrible. But the detail in this was amazing because the corn knobs, the corn nuggets, kernels. Thank you. Or like different colors.
Yeah, so you get some.
So you got the
peaches
neat
and cream
sort of
kind
texture. Yeah, and then I had to hold the second half of it in my hand while you rolled the first one.
Yeah.
But it just the result is just phenomenal. It was so cute. And like, look, we're trying so hard to make it go in.
We're trying to do this as best we can. We really are.
We needed little kid fingers.
Yeah, except I don't think I can't possibly see a kid with small enough hands that wouldn't be like, this is stupid, I want to eat them, and just eat them.
Yeah, no, I guess it's true.
I actually had a friend who bought one of these for his kids, and he had a hard time having his kids not just eat it.
Ah.
Like they would just pick stuff. I just want to eat it.
Look at you, you're rolling it now.
Desperately. It's hard because it's not really sticky, so you really have to push hard.
And your thumbs are gigantic in there.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I tried to.
Again, the cob was like it was.
Like a starburst.
It wasn't a sticky thing. It was just a.
Like a chew.
Okay.
Starburst.
I have never had a starburst.
You haven't lived.
Yes, I have.
So, and there's specific places to put everything on the little board.
Well, so we do better on the second one.
I think so.
Yeah. I think we managed to get more of them into their little divots.
Yeah. I would have made the corn a separate thing.
It was really hard to do it with the apples there.
Yeah.
I guess we decided we had enough time before the apples needed to come out.
Yeah.
So I saw me moving the timer, which...
I think we're
oh, no, okay.
Great discussion.
Pull out the apple thing before we do the second piece of corn because it's time.
Yeah.
Okay, so
first thing I do is take the sprinkles and give them back to you.
I grew up in the military, so I'm obsessed with punctuality.
So then here's a question of sort of getting... I use the same technique you sort of used to get the pudding out, and you just kind of stick it at the side, and because they don't really just fall out.
I see your valiant attempt at making that.
The other problem with this is like normally to get things out of the mold, you really have to sort of crush the mold. But if I crush this box too much, then we can't do the other corn, and then there's still the bananas in there to do. So I kind of use the toothpick to sort of break the air seal.
Yeah.
And that
looks pretty good.
I mean, I know you really like the apples. I wasn't that impressed by it. It's kind of this jiggling
I thought they
mess.
were fun.
You know, considering like this, how cool the sushi ones looked, it would have been neat if there was like some kind of apple-y thing in the middle.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I still thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I loved this one. I thought it was really neat. It brought back a lot of nostalgic feelings about going to festivals in Japan. Except French fries. I don't think I ever ate French fries.
Might be a new thing.
Maybe.
Or they're trying to do like carnival food for Western people.
Maybe.
Is corn a thing? In festivals in Japan? Corn on the cob?
I don't really remember.
Because it's definitely a part of this. So we go with the second corn.
I used to eat a lot of yakisoba.
Which is not here.
Which is not here. I don't know how you would do that.
I think they have a soba one. They actually
really
have a soba kit.
Soba, yes, they have a soba-san.
Yeah, so maybe if we go back to Japan, we'll try picking up a couple more of these, try it out again. It's fun. It is a lot of fun.
Maybe.
I wouldn't
this
spend...
This was like our whole afternoon. Or it felt like it.
Felt like it. So, this video itself, you'll notice, is sped up a few places, so...
And then there was that 3-hour break. Well, right now,
technically...
The things are in the fridge now.
Yeah, we...
Yeah, see, that one looks much better.
Yeah.
And then I think we tried to sort of...
I don't think so, I think...
Yep, there it goes. Yep, we tried to fix the other one. I think we actually managed to get more kernels onto it.
It was easier. I think the trick is get the apples out. Like, you just have to be patient, finish the apples.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we did the fries too quick.
Who knows?
So there was a lot of sprinkles left over, though. So we got.
And now
I believe I ate them.
I put the fries in the correct place.
Yeah.
Look how fun it's getting, though. Like there's the apples and the corn and the French fries.
Yeah.
And I'm like.
I think we're doing the bananas.
I think that the French fries are proportionally huge.
Yeah, it's not quite as in
I
proportion.
think an apple would be the same size as a French fry.
There's a slight technical glitch here. You're going to notice that I'm going to go from kneading this banana dough to them being done. We lost a bit of footage, had a little camera technical difficulties.
Oh.
But basically what happens is you mix it up here, and then there's the same mold that had the apple and the corn thing. There's a little mold for bananas. You just kind of push them in and pull them out. It's really nothing that spectacular.
No, but then it gets fun.
Afterwards, we get the aftermath we get. Like,
okay, good.
Like it doesn't just end here. It just...
Because like I used to get these at Japanese festivals all the time.
Chocolate covered bananas?
Chocolate covered bananas.
Were they frozen? Or were they just...
Nope.
Oh, interesting.
They were just chocolate and
Yeah.
sprinkles.
So it sort of turns into a dough that you actually knead. So you'll see me... You're actually supposed to knead the banana dough. This was the only thing in this kit.
That smelled so banana-y.
Yeah, it was very banana-y. The apple one kind of tasted a little apple-y, but this one, like, these actually tasted like chocolate-covered bananas when they were done, which was kind of cool.
That is pretty cool.
I'm not a big fan.
Oh yeah, the chocolate sauce smelled really good.
It was
too.
chocolatey too, yeah. So you're supposed to knead this thing like 10 times. I probably knead it like 20 times, but and I believe you yelled at me at one point for kneading it too many times. So.
Because you can break stuff doing that.
But
you're a baker. You should know these things.
I wanted it to feel right. I wanted it to feel like you could push it into those things and it would survive. Like I was sort of going with a texture. You do have pasta. You don't really measure how many times you knead it. You just do it till it's right.
Yeah, but this one said 10 times.
Yeah, but it didn't feel right. So.
It's like you became me for a minute.
For a minute there. Certain things I do that. Like the trick is knowing what you can and can't do that with. You know, so you push them into the mold. But unfortunately, yeah, it got lost. So there they are out of the mold, and here we are making the chocolate.
And they've got little toothpicks in them too.
Yeah, so they actually look like
the banana
little
sticks.
bananas. This was kind of an interesting challenge. The hard part I remember about this, I remember complaining about this, is these were really hard to dip in the container.
How cute they are though.
They were really
they
hard.
Look like little bananas.
So I tried just like dipping it in and then just like using the scoop to shovel it in, but it really...
Look at that in sort of the bottom of the screen, the lineup of open packages we have.
Yeah, this one was definitely...
This one was really complicated.
It's fun though. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too.
So this will be, me dipping lots of bananas and you using the scoop to put more on the bananas because it's not good enough.
That's right. There's not enough chocolate.
I guess because you like these, you felt particularly
chocolate.
Nostalgic about it.
Yeah, it's like they have to look exactly like they did at the festivals.
I was just trying to dip them in the container. It would have been nice if there was a lot more chocolate. I could have just dipped them in properly, but they sort of gave you the right amount of chocolate. So by the last one, you're just kind of scraping it off, as opposed to actually dipping it in the chocolate.
To give people context, before I met Chris, I lived in Japan twice. Once for 3 years and once for another year.
And we both been to Japan. One
twice.
Twice.
Together.
One for a trip and one for sort of a longer period. So, and I went to a festival and I had the yakisoba.
Yep. It's pretty good, eh?
I got food poisoning.
No.
Yep.
I can't believe that happened to you. That never happened to me. In like my 4.5 years I've now spent in Japan, that never happened to me.
Horrible food poisoning.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
First time I tried to use a squat and drop was when I thought I was going to explode.
No!
That's another story, though. Probably shouldn't talk about that when you're smearing chocolate onto a banana.
No, probably not.
So, there we go. I remember at one point, Allison got really mad at me because the bananas were upside down.
Yeah.
So, we do fix that in the shot. I don't think I actually show fixing it,
Goodness.
but we do fix it. Allison
fix it. And it went
fastidiously putting the sprinkles on.
Oh, the sprinkles were so cool.
We wanted to make sure it was nice and neat. The thing about this is funny is
I think that the other camera isn't shooting anymore at this point, right?
No, I don't think so.
Have it net.
But the interesting thing about this... No, you get a closer look. Don't worry. We move stuff in.
Because we've only got
See? There we go.
There we go. See,
We
the
fixed it
bananas
all.
are on the right way.
And then here's me. Here we are, eating a banana. And that's the end.
Bye!
Bye!